YouTube, what's going on? Kevin the Tech Ninja here, and today we're going to talk about the gear that I use to make my YouTube videos and a little bit of my setup. About 4 months ago, I made a video going over half the setup, which is like my gaming side and just the chill spot. So make sure you hit my link after the video for that portion. But this video is going to go over the gear and the production side of my dojo. If you're looking to become a content creator, don't feel that you need to have all this gear to do so. It's just something I gained over the years of making videos on YouTube and also professionally. Let's start off with my desk setup, or as I should say, desks setup, but we're gonna focus on the right side of the desk. This is the production house. Now, what you're seeing here is a very common setup that you'll see from a lot of different creators online. These are the IKEA drawers, these are the Alex drawers, and also it's the Carl B countertop. This is actually made for a kitchen, and then I use these furniture legs to extend it up a little bit. So I have two different countertops on 3 different drawers, and this gives me kind of this nice white clean look, and also the countertop just looks really good on video. And then on top of this countertop, no surprise from IKEA, is a hutch. And this just gives me some extra drawers, and it elevates my setup, which makes it easier to look at so I'm not looking down. Now, on top of this hutch, I do have my computer, which I'll talk about soon, and also my Kano YU4 powered speakers with the metallic stands that it goes with. I will admit I did order them originally because they were white and matched, but they're actually some decent speakers, and they're good enough for what I use them for, which is sort of playing music while I'm editing, and sometimes if I'm watching a video, I'll just use these speakers. But when it comes down to actually editing, I use my Bose QC35 version 2, and a big thanks to them for sponsoring this portion of the video. But sponsorship aside, I've used Bose over the years as my go-to headset if I need to isolate sound, mute the environment as I've jokingly called it. Bose noise cancellation is top notch, and it sets the bar for other companies, and this helps me lock in and make my edits. I can hear my audio perfectly, so I can make those precise cuts without any sort of bass distortion that you'll find with some headsets. And for travel, these are the headsets you'll see people wear most often. And these are a must-have for me when I need to get some actual work done and I want to be isolated from everyone else, or if I'm traveling. So if you want to get your own pair, hit the link down below and pick one up this holiday season. The computer I'm using is a late 2015 5K iMac 27-inch with 32 gigabytes of RAM. This is my main computer, my workstation if you will. It works great for what I'm doing, and I love the 5K screen that it has. Under the computer, you'll see this little black box with a screen on it. This is the Mix Pre 3 from Sound Devices. This is a Swiss Army knife for sound. The way I use it, I plug both my microphones into it. So right now I have my voiceover microphone plugged into it, and I have an extra XLR cable ran. So when I use my shotgun mic, I can plug right into it without running a new cable, and I'll show you that whole setup soon. It also can take batteries, so if I'm shooting away from my desk, I could take it wirelessly and record right into an SD card, but it also has USB-C for data and power, so I can just use my phone power cord and keep it powered all the time. And to top it off, it has more settings than I even know what to do with it, but it's all managed via a touchscreen and also these knobs that you can adjust the volume on the fly. Wrapping up on the desk here, the mouse that I use is a Logitech G602, and the keyboard is a Corsair KS70. So they're both around 2 years old now. I don't feel the need to upgrade peripherals every year, and they have keyboard shortcuts and a mouse shortcut, which I can use for editing, which makes it easy for me. I have a small SD card reader that's double-sided to the bottom of my desk, which gives me access to plug in SD cards, micro SD, and also additional USB ports if I need it. I have 2 cameras. My main camera is the A7 III, and I pair it up with a Sony 24-105 f4G lens. It's around $1,200 I believe, and this combination gives me a great image with autofocus for run and gun, and I also keep a cage on it to protect it and also mount different things on it like this screen from Small HD. Before I had this camera, I used an A7R II, and now that's my B camera, and I still use it for my overhead rig and also for sliding shots. Lighting is one thing I always cheaped out on, and you can actually get away with cheap lighting for a while, especially if you have natural light. But when I moved into the basement, there is no extra lighting anywhere, and it's a much bigger room to play with, and I needed something better. I ended up with the Aperture 120D light with the light dome. It's pretty much what everyone else is using right now, so I kind of fell into the trend, but it is a very powerful light and it's very soft, which gives you an evenly lit subject without the harsh shadowing, albeit it's not cheap at all. So here's the overhead rig that I use. There's a lot cheaper ways of doing this, but this is the way that I picked for my setup because it became the most sturdiest way and the most efficient for me. All about speed for me. So let's begin with the stand. This right here is the C stand. These are pretty generic. You can get them at B&H Photo or anywhere else. This C stand is extremely sturdy. It can extend up to actually higher than my ceiling, but the C stand is what is sturdy enough to actually hold the whole camera. And now down below under the C stand, I do have a 25-pound sandbag, which definitely helps me keep this steady. Now what you can notice down the C stand, we have a couple cables here, so we're gonna go over these cables. This first cable right here, this is our dummy battery, which allows me to shoot unlimited amount of time as far as power, because it goes into here, which is the Atmos power station, and that is actually coming all the way down the C stand and is plugged into a power strip right here. And the second wire that's going into here is actually HDMI, which once again follows this all the way down, and it plugs into this monitor. This is the Feel World monitor. Actually a pretty cheap monitor, but it's good enough to do what I'm looking to do. So I have this overhead shot, and then I have a monitor where I can see exactly my framing. It does let me know what's in focus by focus peaking, but for the most part, I can see what's in focus, and I keep my camera on autofocus. This table is just a standard white table I got from IKEA. And these are little poster boards that I got from Home Goods. They're around $6 a piece, and these give you these pops of color. So when you see these overhead shots and it's like a very bright color, most of the time it's these boards. So you can see I kind of have it laid out like this, and it actually has a really good, cool looking effect. So yeah, that's kind of how I do my overhead shot. The lens is 24-70 f4. So it's a very standard autofocus lens with some good length, so I can zoom in or zoom out, whatever I need to do for the desired shot I'm looking for. So this right here is the X2 slider, and it is actually controlled via a phone app. So check this out here. You can set up different modes, different moves. So if I hit play right here, you can kind of see it in action. So with this app, you can control all the moves. So you can see right here, or I can do something like this, up. So this lets me control my slider with my phone, which can give me some pretty dynamic shots. And that's how you see shots like this. So this is your perspective of A-roll, and here's my perspective of A-roll. So as you can see, I have my camera here, the A7 III, have my monitor, which is the small HD monitor, have my light right above me, very bright, and then right here I have a microphone right above my head. It's actually slightly out of frame, but I have a microphone above my head. This is the Audio-Technica microphone. It's actually not too expensive when I bought it, and this microphone plugs right into the Mix preamp. You can't plug this microphone directly into your computer. It needs some type of interface, and it's an XLR input, and it just sounds really good for the price. You know, I didn't find a need to spend, $600-700 on a microphone. I think this sounds pretty good. But the key is, especially with hardwood floors, that you need to have something underneath you, like carpet, something to deaden the sound. As long as you have that, I think this type of microphone would do just fine. The microphone on the Rode desk arm is the AKG P220. Then I toss on a pop filter, and then this plugs into the Mix Pre 3. And I think the sound quality is really good. I've had this microphone for 2.5 years, and I love how it sounds when I'm doing voiceovers. It's actually the mic I'm using right now. For long-term storage, I use the Synology DS718 Plus NAS. I have two 8TB drives, and they're rated so they back up each other. So if one fails, I still have all of my information. I move all of my videos to the drive when I'm done. So if I want to work on this video from a different computer, there's a nice interface that I can go into and grab the files down, or I can just map the network drive. Also on the interface, it comes with tons of different apps, so I can easily give access to my editors to certain files, or I can use their apps to manage my data, automatically do backups, and I can move files to Dropbox with just a click. I mean, the list goes on, and I don't think I'm tapping the surface of what this could actually do, but the DS718 from Synology is one thing that keeps me the most efficient, and that, my friends, was my production setup and a little bit of a room tour, sort of. As I said before, I've done a full room tour of the gaming side already, and this was sort of just a quick tour of the production side of things. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and I will also do a complete walkthrough extremely soon, so be looking out for that. It's going to be a big video, probably my longest video I've ever made, but this right here, just wanted to give you guys the way that I work my production setup, and maybe draw some inspiration. I'd love to hear what you think. Leave it down below. I'm Kevin the Tech Ninja. Thank you so much for watching.